and welcome... wait. Okay, the stream's running. Okay. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's live stream where I'm going to attempt to recreate the Spider-Man web tornado effect from the new movie. I saw the new movie, Spider-Man Brand New Day, and it was good. I really enjoyed it. So I want to try this out. So let's start with step 1, which is to do some analysis. How does this effect actually work? Because my gut is telling me that this might not be all too simulated. So let's take a look at it at speed. Hopefully, oh yeah, no, it's lagging because of the proxies and all that. Let's take a look. He descends, and then it does that. But from what I'm seeing here, it seems like these parts, they're not wobbling as much as I would expect. There seem to be... my memory is failing me, but I think this might have changed a lot between the trailer and the movie, because it seems a lot simpler than I would originally think. I'm going to do a simulated method because that's what I want to try, but just from looking at this, it seems like there are squares, kind of squares, that have the webbing in between them. And then in this case, they seem to, like with this one right here, it just seems to mix the positions between there and there. I'm assuming if this is how the final effect looks, that this was for artistic effect, because there's parts that go down there. They might, do they go through there? 'Cause let's see, they're the ones who go through there, and then how do they attach to that? Yeah, I think they might have... This is just a wild guess, but I'm assuming that they chose where the webs would end up and then mixed them to the original position with maybe a bit of simulation on top. That's what I'm guessing. I'm going to try, and especially right here, it looks like... interesting. So that part goes there and it goes around. That's very interesting. Maybe it is... Actually, I don't know. Maybe it's simulated, maybe it's not. Alright, but let's get to work on actually making the effect. So let's go and check all this, make sure everything's there. Okay, so how would I go and recreate this effect? So step 1, let's go and create an empty. This empty will be the direction of our spinner that fires. So let's go and make this single arrow. No, let's make it arrows, and let's make it so that it's the z-axis, of course. Though, actually no, x-axis, because it'll be going down and spinning around. Okay. Let's go and bring this up to, let's do 6 meter. Yeah, 6 meters seems fine. So we're going to simply do that, then bring it down to 0, because we're going to imagine that old Spider-Man here face plants 720 degrees, so that does 3 spins. So taking, nope, it needs more. Let's go and multiply that by 2, just by 2. There we go. Just do that. Okay, basic animation, that is good enough for now. So let's set up our colliders. So I'll make this a collider collection, and we'll just put this right here. I'm going to invert the normals so that, here, let's go and turn back face culling on so that we can see the internals. Let's go and Shift Z. Maybe about, yeah, that seems to be good. A decent size for the room, and backface culling now contributes to what you can select, which is both good and maybe a bit annoying. But yeah, that's fine there. I almost want to turn this into an octagon, because I think that might make the effect a bit better. Yeah, that'll be good. So basically, we're going to make webs fire, and then attach to there, and then when they hit, okay. So the simulation is going to be, we're going to make particles vertices fire from this location. They attach to the walls. When they hit, they freeze, they stick to the walls, they don't move anymore, and that's good. But they're attached by edges, and when they're attached by edges, they shrink to give the kind of web effect. Okay, this will be interesting. I've done pseudo web effects before, but I've never done it in this way, where it's like a continuous stream that goes, or is it even? Is it, well, we'll try multiple methods. Okay, we don't want geometry nodes on the actual empty. We don't want geometry nodes on the collider. We want a new thing here, which maybe, do I want this as a curves? Well, we'll deal with that later. Let's go and add in, an empty or a mesh plane. Let's do this the way it's, let's use a mesh plane because it doesn't require original data. As we can see here, there's no geometry input, just a geometry output. That's not there, that's labeled as collider. Nope, this is GN, geometry nodes. Oh, come on, caps, GN. Let's go and set this to be green, this one to be orange, and this one to be blue. Actually, no, that one should be red. You know, Spider-Man colors and all that. So that's good, and since we have our object right there, let's go and get everything running. So we want our empty in here, set this to be relative so that we get the orientation and such. Now we're going to rotate vector. In this case, that'll be there, and we want this on the x-axis. That'll be our velocity. So let's set up our simulation to make it so that we have points. We're going to make these edges, but for now, it'll just be points that go and spawn into a simulation, and then attach to the walls when it's needed. So here, I will be using a join geometry node. Maybe initially I'll go and set the initial velocity. So there, we have that. Set this to be a velocity. We'll do this. We will need this to be random eventually, but not quite yet. I'm going to set the ID because we want each of these points, because we'll be adding in new particles every single time. We want every single point we add to have a unique ID. So we'll use a hash value, but this, I should mention, this isn't necessarily guaranteed to be a unique value, because with hashes, there is a very, 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 very low chance that they have the same ID, but it's so low that I'm going to treat it as if it'll never be the case. Let's go and use the scene time node, set this to be frame. So that part will be hashed. Actually, that should be float, and that should be index. There we go. Because even though with the frames, we're used to them being integers, they are technically floats, because there could be subframes, even though we don't really use them in this case. So that's that. We have the velocity, and now I can put in a random value to rotate this velocity vector and all that. Let's go and scale this up so that it's more like 100 meters per second, and we'll do this. Great, so now we have particles spawning in. Where's our particles? Oh, we need to attach it to the output. There we go. So now we should see there are particles forming, and because I am a genius, I forgot to actually set the position. So now we have them spawning in, and they have the velocity that we want. Simple enough. Now, let's go and make it so that these actually simulate. So I'm going to be using some node groups that I made previously, like velocity step, and SDF collision, and SDF mesh. All of these are available for free on my Gumroad page, just because they're node groups that are very reliable, and I love them. So in this case, we have that and that. We need to separate well, we don't need to separate children, but it's probably a bit better. Realize instances, so we have all that. So now we have our velocity and the collision. So in this case, particles will fire from the center, hit the walls, and then fall. Right now they're bouncing. We do not want them to bounce. We'll turn bouncing to 0, friction to 1. Now this still won't be perfectly accurate. And also, I should mention, we want this to happen at the end. At the end. We want the new particles to be attached last, so that they don't move. They'll start at their origin, and the next frame, they'll go and do that. Thing is, we want the original one. Yeah, no, I think that is as expected. So here we can see they're there, and then the next frame they're away. A bit much. Let's turn it down to 10 meters per second so we can see. Does that, then it spins around. That's good. That's okay. Maybe I could add in some subframes into the spawning so that we don't get this very regular result. But anyway, let's go and make it so that these parts stick. So with this, let's see, I don't want to have node groups for all this, but we may need to get to that stage because this simulation might be, you know, just a little bit complex. Let's make this a Boolean and store the is hit value, because this will tell these particles when to freeze. Once they hit the walls, I want them to freeze, unless maybe we'll make it so that randomly they'll freeze. Okay, no, this will be freeze, so that they will not collide anymore, and they will not have a velocity step. And I forgot to connect the delta time. There we go. So, named attribute, if there is... Oh, that was not supposed to occur. If there's not freeze, then that goes into there and also over to there. If it doesn't freeze, then continue doing what you're supposed to. Or actually, no, we want the freeze... Actually, yeah, that should occur. Okay, so that is as expected. So now, once they hit, they should... Okay. And then here, this should only happen if there is not a freeze. So here, they attach, then they freeze. Good. That is as expected. That is working. So there we go. It just goes, spins around, and that happens. Okay, so now we need to make it so that not bad. Collision, and then that's the velocity step. There we go. So we have that part. So how do we make it so that these parts actually connect and still look good? That is the question. So let's add in a few more things. I want this to be maybe 3 points per there. Then here, I want to set the position to be offset randomly. So we scale this by a random value between 1 and 24. I could plug in the delta time into there, but that may be annoying. So I'm going to mainly put in the frame rate. And this is simply to make it so that it staggers the... wait a minute. Oh no, I want to divide it by... Yeah. It'll either be nothing or that. There we go. So here, if... Maybe incorrect with this. But we should see that they're now staggered. Should be, yeah, that divided by... Oh, wait a minute, no. I need to... Sorry, I'm forgetting what to do in this case. It should be 1 multiplied by that much, and then scaled by the delta time. Yeah, 1 divided by 24. There we go. Okay, so there we go. That's what I was mostly looking for. Now, it's still not interpolated, so that might be a little bit... we're not going to worry about that. Just a little bit of staggering. Okay, and this is new particles. So, how do we make it so that these actually look webbed? How do we do it? Because there are multiple methods we can do. Initially, I was thinking, what if I just have a grid and delete random points, and then instance that into there and then send them flying? That might work well. That might actually work well. I'm not sure. I am not sure. Let's give it a shot, though. So for our web, maybe I'll have a new collection for web. There's multiple ways. If we want to go with a more art-directable approach, why? Yeah. Oh, that seems to be a bug. That should, there we... Okay, don't know why that was being weird. Web types? We'll experiment here. So here, let's add in a new geometry node thing right here. I may want to... Let's hide everything else, just so that we can focus. So I'm going to make a primitive grid. I'll set this to be 100, even though we will want to manipulate this later on. Maybe 25 on both. 50 on both. 50 and 25. Yeah, that seems to be good. That to be 0.5. And we're going to delete random vertices with this. So delete geometry. Random value. And then we'll go and do... something like that. We just want some holes in there, and then we want to delete only bases. So now we just have this wire. And you may wonder, well, that doesn't look very organic. But if we use set position, and then we blur the position, blur attributes, oh, and make sure that's a vector, we can see that this starts to look a bit more like our reference here, where it's like that. They're just a bunch of interconnected parts, and then all that happens. So potentially, I can make this work. Still looks very irregular, which maybe this was probably a really good idea. I need to go and triangulate. Triangulate, this will be a fixed or fixed alternate. Then we'll go and do this, and then I'll automatically make it so that it'll be more like that. So we're seeing that this kind of web look, it's looking better. Much more organic, but we can make it even better by randomly actually, will this even work? Subdivide mesh. Ah. Yeah, how am I going to do this? Because I want to selectively subdivide certain parts, certain segments of this. I could separate geometry. Oh, wait, this might be a good idea. Let's see. So this we're going to make an int. This will just be the previous ID so that we can merge it. Or index. That will be fine. Index. There we go. So we're going to separate the edges randomly based on a given value. Only subdivide those parts, join them back in, and then I could just merge by distance. That would have been simpler, but oh well. And I could also recursively subdivide this. I could do it again and again, but let's use merge points, and we will merge by their previous ID. I could just set their, I don't know, it's fine. But here, we should see... What? Oh, that is... bad. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Set ID, let's make that the index. You. That. And did that, okay. Ah, oh. ID. I mean, that gives an organic shape, but not the organic shape. Okay, I'm just going to go and merge by distance, because it seems to be a bit easier. There's probably something I did wrong, but I am working at speed, and I do not want to slow down. So we have that part right there, that part for the quote-unquote subdivision, quote-unquote. Then that seems to work. I could have a repeat zone to do it again and again and again, but I'm not sure that's necessary. And I could subdivide it one more time to, I don't know, that's not looking as good as I was hoping. You know, what if I didn't know? Maybe I should do recursive subdivision instead. Or is triangle subdivision an option where I just go, that could work. Or I inset it, scale it to 0. Oh yeah, no, that could work as well. Let's go and extrude mesh, which in this case we need to do it before all the geometry gets completely obliterated. So something like this, and then I could use scale elements to just easily scale down the segments. This node is a bit weird nowadays, because it's like, yeah. Let's set that to be individual. Yes, that'll work. And then merge by distance. So with that, we should see, we get a pattern like this, but we only want it to be on a subset of elements. So something like that, and then we can do it again and again and again and again to make it all work. Or we can do this, and let's take a, oh. That does not look as good as I was hoping for, unfortunately. But there is something going on, so let's let it run its course. Can't say. Okay. I think I'm getting a bit distracted in the web design. What I would need to do, like, subdivide parts and then put stuff there. Or, wait a minute. When this happens, I selectively delete certain edge segments. Maybe that could work. That could work. I'm experimenting, and experimenting is fun. Side, so it needs to be or, and then it does that as well. Can't exactly dissolve, or this needs to be an and. Oh, I did not think of that, did I? That's not the edge domain, is it? It has to be on the side and random. Let's do that. We can't have, well, maybe loose edges could, okay, no. We're getting lost in the weeds with all this. So, let's go back and, let's go back and actually run the thing and actually make connected stuff and all that. So we have this and it's running. What I want to happen. Maybe every time it fires, I instance in the web type, where the start will always be where this guy is, and then the ends will stick, and everything in between won't stick. Let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. So, we have this, and then we're going to... Should I instance on points, or should I just literally grab the thing into there, and then transform? Transform geometry. We have our geometry, we transform it to have that and that there. The scale I want to keep separate. We keep that random, we have that there. Make it very, very small. And I want to also store data on the start and end to see if that'll work. Let's go and plug that in and see what happens, because I'm assuming something really plain. That's what I meant to grab. So here we can see that our webs are working perfectly. Look at that. They're spawning in, they're sticking to the walls. Perfection. But no, what I need to do is set some vertices on the start and end to both be basically this side will stick to the end, the start will stick to the beginning. So this will all come together fairly soon. I just need to make sure. So let's go and store two named attributes. This will be end, this will be start. And I should reverse these, of course. And should these be booleans or floats? I think floats would be good. Gives a bit more wiggle room in the end. So that happens. So I'm doing this before the blur. So this will be separate x, y, z. I'm assuming, yes, x-axis. Let's go and set this to be less than. So the start will be if it's less than this. So let's go and take a little look with the viewer node, which we cannot see because of attribute text and all that. So if it is greater... Oh, no, wait. I had that the right way originally. So here, what I want it to be is like that. So those parts, I just want to select a little bit. YouTube compression probably really hates that. So we have the start and then we have the end. And I know this is being stored as that, but we may need to make it a bit softer for some of the stuff, but it should be fine. There we go, so we have the start and the end. So now let's go back into our simulation. And let's make it so that number one, let's go and move you back. Only the ends will freeze. So we have the end, and this has to be or. No, this needs to be an and node. So only if it hits and it's an end will it freeze. So with this, we should see, there we go. We have a cascade, quite the cascade. And then at the start, we need to make it so that the position will always be stuck to the start. So let's go and do that. Set position. Start. Let's go and plug that into there. And then this will just set the position. Start position is. Now we're starting the node spaghetti already. Not good. Not good. Very bad. Let's go and remove that. So here we should see. Oh no. That did not function. Oh no. Why did that not occur? Let's take a look. Oh, that hurts. That hurts so much. Okay, so apparently the start is incorrect. Let's take a look at here and see why. False, 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 false. Ah. And then true. No, there are parts that are true. Was it just not enough? Let's go and take a look at this. Okay. Now, I guess it just wasn't enough. So now that we have tons of webs firing, and to be honest, it is way too much. That's way too much in terms of webs firing. But the ends are doing their job and everything else. I think I do need to make it so that I subtract... Because right now they're just firing forward, which leads to this ugly stuff. It's not spreading. So I think I need to add in some random velocity, or random orientation. So let's go and rotate, rotation. Right here, make it low. I keep forgetting the difference between the local and the local and global. Wow, why did I have trouble saying that? Let's go and scale it. Scale it by 0.1. Change the seed values. Just do that. You never want it always at 0. So here we can see that we get a very square looking. I am surprised by that. Wow. I'll edit that. But with that, we just need to do the last part with all this, or second to last part, which is to add in the shrinkage. Shrinkage. Seeing all those numbers shown in the viewer gave me a heart attack. Yeah, yep, I should turn that off. So here we have the start pin. Yeah. So we have that, and all we need to do is edit the... Should I just edit the velocity so that there is the attraction force? Just do it right there. That might be good. Actually, yeah, that might be good, because I would need to edit the velocity anyway. So I will go and take the position, blur it, subtract it, and call it a day. So we just do that, and to add that into the forces, so I need to scale this by to the power of 2. Need to invert that. But here we should see at least, actually, I'm just divided by 2. This is a bad idea, bad idea, bad idea, bad idea. Or is it? It's not resisting gravity whatsoever. I am detecting at least some. No, I think I might need to do this the regular way. And I think I also need to up the scattering here. So, oh my gosh. I mean, something is occurring. Might not be great, but at least something is. So it's like... Oh, that is indeed rough. So I think I need to go and revise our webs a little bit. I think the main thing is I need to make it so that there are more attachment parts at the end, and then also delete more parts at the end, so it's a bit more frayed. Okay, let's see if I can make this actually work. We don't need to subdivide the mesh like that. Well, no, we probably will, but I'll do that after. Okay, so step 1. I need to go and delete geometry randomly based on a Boolean value, and this will be based on the x-axis. So I need to use a nice map range to go and map to the range of the deletion. So it looks kind of like that, yes. So we can see it's kind of looking a bit more web-like. maybe we just need more extrusions off there? I don't know. We may need to reshape that. And to be honest, maybe I could just, yeah, maybe I just need to delete more overall. That's more like, yeah, there we go. That's a lot more web-like. And then just add more loose ends there. Oh, yeah. Wait. So let's go and extrude mesh. This'll work. And then we also, yeah, we can make this contribute to the end. So this will be vertices. Offset will be random, like this, because what I want, excuse me. What I, random value? Oh, that's why. Yeah, no, it is happening, but it's getting blurred into oblivion. So it's like that. We can't really see them. Maybe I need to do it like twice. But now we have little other attachment webs, and this will be or top. So it'll be that or that will contribute. So let's take a look at our simulation once again. We should see that some parts just kept. Oh, that is funny. Maybe I should use like a shortest edge path for that. Okay, another thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to change this. Because as we can see, we can't render our webs accurately. So let's go and I need... Sorry if you could hear background noise. Let's see, let's go to curves. Let's do empty here. Because to get a curves object, it assumes when you add it, it will always be attached to another object, which we do not. Which for, I just want a blank curve object. So that should be up there. You should be last. This makes it so that we could render the curves as strands. So that is good. We have the curves there, and we're going to transfer our geometry node setup to those curves, just so that we can render the stuff. Let's go and get some geometry nodes. Because I didn't label it, this will be WebSim2. 1. WebSim. No. WebSim. There we go. It's good. WebSim. So we have that, and we just need to convert this to curves, mesh to curves. So now we can see. We can now render all that. If we do go and render and make Eevee compile, because this is a new version of Blender 5.3, but this can be done in, you know, any version of Blender and all that. Can we see? We can't see because backface culling is not enabled with the shader. So let us go into the shader editor and wait 15 billion years. It's not that bad. Back facing, and we will set the alpha if it is not back facing using a 1-. Transparent shadows are on. So now we can see inside, yay! So now we need to do other things like turn off temporal reprojection, turn on ray tracing, set this to be 1 of 1, denoising, turn off bilateral filter, and then set this to be 2 meters. So there we go, we have that, it goes around. So now there's way too much stuff going on, but something is occurring. We're getting that kind of web tornado action, totally. Let's go to geometry node, set the material, make a new material. I want this to be, it needs to be alpha blended, even though I dislike alpha blend. Well, alpha blend has its purpose, but it makes it so that something, well, actually no, alpha blend is perfect for this scenario. So let's change this to be blended. So now we have this, it's good. We can set the opacity to be lower. Oh, okay, here we go. So now we have something like this. Let's make it more metallic. Turn the roughness down. We will be adding textures, but this is just an initial thing to see what's going on. This looks like such a mess, because it is. But this does kind of bring into question another thing. We need to update our little tension thing. I'm not using the XPBD solver, just because, but some damping is in order. Okay, kind of... We're getting a bit of the action that we want here. Let's go and make this a little easier to see, because this is really, really hard to see. That, copy it to... That. There we go. There we go. So we have that, and then that occurs. That happens. So if we look at this, it's... One second while I go and get a relevant HDRI. Let's go environment texture, open. Let's get the... Where? Environment textures. Which one would be good? Do we go with... Metro Nord is always good, but I'm thinking Leadenhall Market. That one. That does not look... This looks terrible. Atrocious. Yeah. Right now, it just looks like we're painting it with some sort of weird fur. Which means that the force, yeah, the string force is not working. So we have to redo it, which won't be bad. We just... Blurring the position should function as intended. Even if it's at the end point. But we need to make it if it is a frozen part that won't do the blurring. So, we need to do the blurring after hit. So, let's go and do another set position. This will be, make it a group. Do not need these inputs here. Besides, maybe, yeah, we need it so that if it's not frozen to do this. So, we need to, I'm forgetting... I made it a node group because I feel like it needs to... I need to do something different. Oh, God. I think we have too many vertices flying. That is funny. So, let's set it to be there. Let's go and turn up the velocity to be higher. Oh. 2. What did I do? This is really something, isn't it? Really something. Let's turn it down a bit more. Like that, it looks like I'm just casting something. While here, it's too... What's the problem? What's its deal? Because these parts, I know I need to reset the velocity after, but something, it's all wrong. Do I need to just heavily reduce this so that there's only a few of the little things that happen? Not strong enough because it's not affecting the velocity, of course. So in this we need to store the old position and then use that to affect the velocity. So store the old position, do that, then we recalculate the velocity afterwards. I always hate when I need to do that. Or since this is an offset, here, let's go and again, if you are not frozen, this will be velocity. I just need to compare. Yeah, no, okay, that'll work. Capture attributes. Need to just subtract. And then I just increment the velocity based on that so that I don't need to do anything different. Hopefully, and then I can port in the delta time from there just to make it a bit better. Scale, no, I want to divide that by that so that it actually affects it. That's that. I know this is is annoying me a bit how spaghettified this is becoming, but hey, we are dealing with what? If you are not frozen, then that affects the... Oh. Boy. You do that to that, and then I contribute it to there. Yay! Finally. Because... Oh, there we go, okay. What is... Let's make this like 5. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. Do I need to make it so that the damping goes up based on the... I am annoying myself to an extent. So, this rotation we need to randomize. I want it to be constant. The ID is being randomized per frame, but this one I want to be one value for the whole thing. So, let's go and we can collapse all these, put it into there. Let's see. Okay, I think the problem is that it's discrete steps, but we are getting the web style, the web action. So, yeah. It doesn't feel like... Maybe the velocities need to be different. We only set the velocities at the ends and it drags the rest of the stuff forward. So, let's go and get the end stuff there. I know this is getting spaghettified and I hate it, but it is what it is. And we may need to blur this. So let's go and blur without affecting the original part. So we do the 1- trick to the blur so that the gradient, for those of you who don't know, when we have this, can we, I forgot, we can't see what's going on. You're just gonna have to trust me on this. Well, let's use attribute text. So here, if we do this, set the weight and all this, this means that the original part of the gradients, the ones here, will not change, and it'll just spread out like that. Ooh, wait a minute. Actually, no, that's fine. The original gradient won't change, it'll just spread without averaging the original. That's what I meant to say. So with that, we just blur it a bit for the velocity. So here we can see it's not doing great with the dragging. We can see that some parts, because they apparently are disconnected, get dragged. Set that to be more like 10. I want it to be, yeah, okay, we need to just up it a lot. And that's too fast. Too slow, it's too fast. Welcome to the wonderful world of working with simulations. Okay. I think one of the things is that... I think I need to add in the little bit of trickery that I used before, which was when it hits, a value increments and spreads across the web, which causes it to collapse, almost as if it was a chemical reaction. Acting like, okay, we hit, now it causes a trigger and it shrinks. To be honest, if Spider-Man actually existed, that would be needed for the swinging, because, you know, to go up a lot without just climbing the rope. So, I'll keep this in mind. I'm still not entirely happy with it. So, and another thing, we need to make this bigger because this is very lackluster in its current state. Let's go and bring it up by, let's see, it was 6 meters, so we'll make this, yeah, that tall. We'll go and bring our empty, which I should bring it into there. We're gonna go and bring it up by 10 meters, so. And then we're going to make this linear. So just, that is a very slow descent. I know he's descending slowly in the original thing, but let's take a look. Okay. So in this, he jumps down. He pulls himself down, so it's not only gravity. It's not even that fast. Doesn't even go that far. It's just like, or we just need to make this part faster. Yeah, that seems to be enough. Just this part where it's pinned. Is it because the pinning isn't affecting the thing? Actually, I could also put the pinning in here, can't I? Yeah, just take the old position and the new position. Put them together, call it a day. Yeah, now why was that even there? That just needs to be there and there. That and that, take that out, put it there. So yeah, the pinning should happen in there so that it accurately and actually affects said velocity. With that and that, we have the position, the subtraction, and all that. So I just need to add in another one here. So let's de-spaghettify all this. Just another set position. And then we go and put the start thing into there. So group input. And then this one will just be position. And then the start value will be that. So we get to eliminate some of the weird stuff in there. Just do all the position setting in one step. And of course it does not work exactly as intended. Not because the... Do I need to set the velocity to be different as well? Should it just zero out? Actually, yeah, no, that should happen. If you're at the start, no velocity for you. And this should all happen afterwards anyway. So I'm going to bring this back. I should work on the shaders so that it actually looks good. But I'm saving that for after... What the... Start and everything there. What is going on? 10... What is causing it to cascade? Oh, I screwed up something here. Now that's being divided by that, then that's doing that. There we go. Yep, screwed up a little bit, but we deal with that. And it's the... I may need to rework this because it's not a constant stream. But it's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. So here, if it's not frozen, then it does that, yes. You need to up it even more, and I think I'd still want to subdivide the stuff a bit more so that it does that. How do we make it so that it's not discrete steps? And also, yeah, how would we actually make this look good? I have an idea. Because I just need to store on the actual web thing here, on the setup. Let's go and make this actually somewhat organized. So we have that, we have that, we have that. We can put that in there. I do need to name these, but it's fine. So with the set position, we're going to also store the rest position. So let's go and store a named attribute. Vector. This will be rest underscore position. Position. There we go. Position. There we go. So shader editor. Nope, wrong one. This will be attributes. Let's rerun the sim so that the stuff's actually in there. Let's go and save this. So rest position. So let's go and add in some noise. So how do I make this? In 2 dimensions is fine. I will also need to set a random value per web so that we can randomize it so that it doesn't look the same. So for the alpha, how do we make this look good? So map range. Let's go and take a look at this and see what needs to occur. So we have something like this. We set the detail to be 12 is all you need for 95% of the effects that you ever make in your life. So something like that. So we have our little web highlights here. We can do that and lower it so that it looks more like this. So that looks a bit web-like. I still need to add in the tension by attachment age. So yeah, there's something like that. So do we just plug that into the alpha and have something like this? Something low, and then when that... Oh, I can feel... Okay, wait. Since we're in Eevee next, turn the shadows down as much as you can. Go. Still doesn't look good. Maybe it's because with curves, we need to change it to... Oh, there we go. Yeah, that explains a lot. With these curves, if they're strand, it's like they don't have any actual thickness. Or it can be cylinder. So that's why. So strip and cylinder. Cylinder is the most accurate. And all that. Of course, that's why I was looking wrong. These, I'm not gonna vary, even though I should vary the thickness a lot. I'm sure I will. But we can see here, at least on the, oh no, the alpha layers. The shadows, Order independent transparency would be nice. And I know I need to make it so that fires in both directions. I'm just waiting on that. And it needs to be a constant stream, which it really doesn't do that at all. Do I need to take the velocity of the thing into account of our spinner? Probably. 100%. Though I don't need to, because I can just fake it. Of course, because the traction force is so... It just collapses before it gets to its destination. Maybe that's... It just needs to attach, and then... Yeah. Like... That's the problem, isn't it? The parts that should attach just never do the thing. So maybe I just need to severely reduce or completely ignore. So if it's not freeze, if it's freeze or ends, then it will not do the shrinkage. We do that and that, just simple logic and all that. Oh, God. I mean... It's a very finicky effect. I'm enjoying this. This is fun. Just need to reduce that. Oh my goodness. Just like that, and then... Oh, maybe... Wait. Maybe I just need to fully reduce this part. Yeah, okay, there we go. So it casts, and then... Okay, there we go. So now... Oh, there we go! Look at that! Look at that! There we go! It's perfect. Not quite, but, you know, close to it. And it still doesn't look like a complete steady stream of webs. But... Yeah, no, it's still very, very discrete chunks. Because it doesn't... It's not one consistent stream. So, maybe... Okay, and I also need to put in a switch to tell it when to stop spewing web. Boolean. Don't laugh at that. Don't laugh at that. Let's see. So we have that, and then we turn it off, turn it back on, turn it off. There we go. So yeah, it's still very discrete chunks. Let's also go and turn up the roughness for the background. Oh god, why did... hitting all the wrong things. But yeah, there we go. So, with this, it's just... so... I think I'm going to turn this part off. How do we make this not look... yeah, no, I need this stuff to affect it just a little bit. And I still need 2 of them, so I need to double the webs that are occurring, that are happening. I think occurring a lot because it sounds fancy. So I just need to duplicate you, join geometry, and rotate. Man. That, and then this will be 1, and that'll be 180. Right there. Absolute perfection. And it doesn't work. 80, it should be... yeah, no, it should work. Oh, wait, no, that's why. Okay. So, the problem is that I'm just using the rotation as that when it should be the rest position. Maybe modified by a bit. Yeah, that's the problem. I should take the rest position, rotate it, or no. Need to take the position subtracted by the location, and then that is our start velocity, so it's more consistent. And I scale it. I should normalize it. And then we do that. So we have that and that. We'll set that to be 5 or 10. Oh, that... okay. I see it. So I could just go and transform this a little bit more. So we don't need... yeah, no, we don't need that either. We just need to plug this into there. It's still... yeah, it's still fairly discrete steps there. And we will go and still... oh, wait. Oh, boy. Let's set that to be... no, that's just an add. There we go. We have this. Nice. Okay. So just look at that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now it looks so non-discrete that I think I need to slow down the empty spinning. Ah, yes, horrors beyond my comprehension. Oh, yes. Speaking of Spider-Man Brand New Day, I am amazed that the movie turned out as well as it did. And we're getting... yes, there we go. Oh, look at that pattern. I'm not sure you can see it with YouTube compression. Look at that pattern. Okay. Oh, wait. I need to fix the rest position. Because it does not start out there. Yeah, it was a good... I've been very burnt out on Marvel movies. In recent memory? Wait, yeah, that's how it should be. But with that, I am shocked that they were able to make it as good as it was. Yeah. So let's take a look again, and it's looking still very... yeah, very much like that. We can always scale position on the Y. There, yeah, there we go. Yep. I think that works. Just need to make it perhaps a little bit more consistent. Am I still doing the jittering when the staggering? I am. Also, scale that with the ends. maybe I should randomize the rotations of the parts more. Spin them a bit more. Because also, I need to go and rotate it on the X by 182. Let's go and take a look at this. So I just don't want it to be completely the same. That and... oh no, now it just looks mirrored. So we have that and that. I could always... It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Completely fine. So now I just need to make some parts a little bit more consistent. Oh, I forgot. I need to store the random per web units. Yeah. All right, let's go and store that. I should go and make this its own node group, but oh well. So let's go and store named attribute. Let's make this an int. Let's make this WID for web ID. Let's go and use scene time frame. Yeah, that'll be fine. I just need to use it to give a random value per thing. Yep, attributes. Add. And I could just use this normally, just need to make sure that it's not an even increment so that it doesn't, you know, cause any obvious repetition. Because it's an index, I'll go up by 1, so to avoid float point precision errors and, what the frick? There we go, okay. So, few things. I think I need to set this to be the power of 2 to get a better fall off. So let's use a mix node to go and set the endpoints here. Set that to be 0, set this to be to the power of 2 or 3 or 4. The cadence is probably sounding pretty annoying right now, I apologize. Dude, yeah, let's dial this in a bit more. Because of roughness, it could turn that up. Because, yeah, that's more of what I'm going for. I need to turn up the specularity for those parts as well. So here, I'm going to use this to turn up the specular IOR. So with this one, see, I'm gonna crank it up. Is it because it's metallic? Yes, it was. So now I think we have a good glistening look. I'm going to turn off shadows because it's slowing things down. And we're going to wait for that to recompile. Oh, it's already done. How about that? So now I can zoom in without... oh no, that still lags. I can also set a random radius for all this. Based on the ID, which will probably make it look a little bit better. And maybe thin the webs a bit more. That may be good. Yep. Look at that. I'm pretty happy with this. It's still very messy. I think I need to go into... let me think here. So the blurring happens there and there. I could make this a lot better if I set the weight to be that, just like how it is there. Does that help or hurt? With this, I think this needs to be not. There we go. Let's go and send that into there. Okay, so that should make the blurring more accurate. And now I could also dial it in. So I can mix between it being fully there. We don't need the knob because since it's a mix, it can do that. So I can set this to be 0.1 and it can do that. That it still affects it a little bit, but of course that's way too little. I still need to make that happen if it's not frozen because I assume that these are being torn from the wall. Yep, of course. So I still need that to make it so that they're not affected at all. If they are frozen. If they're not frozen, they just do that. So there we go. That's looking more consistent. Maybe a bit too much, so let me go and lower it even more. Still want it to be somewhat, let's see, just dialing it in. It does look like webs, right? Pretty sure. Yeah, I may just need to, since the scattering is no longer completely obliterating everything. And also, that light bothers me. It should be a spotlight for aura purposes. Yes, yes, yes. There we go. Yeah, not bad. So it's just like... That works. It's hard to tell with YouTube compression. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, sorry everyone for making perhaps the worst... Oh, yeah, no. Potentially the worst thing on the planet for compression. Yep. We don't need that one, so it's just... Yep. So now we have that kind of double helix look. All the webs are still going down. Just like in the movie. I'd say that's pretty good. So at 1 hour exactly. Well, not exactly. Let's see. Give me one moment, fellas. I'm getting fellas. I should never say that again. 1 minute, everyone. I don't. That fella sounds so old. I need to take a call. Never mind, it was spam. Of course. My vernacular is very much in the, oh, somewhat fancy person range. But folks, that's way too far. Way too far. Okay, do I also blend the sides a bit? Yeah. Just a little bit of lighting. I should have brick on the sides. Do I have a nice and convenient brick texture lying around? And also, I'm going to keyframe the web stop. This should be, yeah, let's just make that group input for web on. Fire. Yeah, that'll be good. All right, there. I'll be like that. And then there we go. Webs on. Web stopped, but even with the webs off, it'll still attach to the center so that if there was an animated character, it can go up just like in the movie, then off to the side. Yep, that is good. Shader editor, gonna go to the world. Going to use the is camera ray thing. Camera ray, there we go. I need to make it so that the sampling here is cubic. Just to make it better. And there we go. I'd say that's pretty good. Maybe I need to make the webs thinner. Maybe I need to give them random radii. Actually, yeah, let's do that next. Random radii. That is on the post visuals. So right here. So set curve radius. Let's set this to be a random value. And the ID will make sure that's nice and... Oh my god. Yes, I do want my webs to look like clouds. That's exactly what I want. Is that enough? Oh, wait, it's... Huh? Oh, the exact same values. Okay, so now I could just try to make my computer die by turning up the resolution. though it's not really adding much. Not really adding much. Yeah, we can't even see that difference there. Though, yeah, we'll keep you around. 'Cause yeah, there we go. So we have the webs and then all that. There we go. So all I need is the brick texture, maybe a bit better lighting, and that's ready to go. It does look like a constant stream. Don't say to me you're not using next curve render. I am using the cylinder. So, oh, additional subdivision. I am a moron. I completely forgot that wait, no, that won't do anything here because these aren't the other splines. So setting the radius to be random won't do anything. But if you can't set the curve radius in the shader, that would be useful. Yeah, I think strip would be fastest, but it seems to be real time, so I'm not going to worry about it. Now, if you were going to use curve to mesh, this would be the worst thing on the planet, but you don't want that. Webs are basically, oh, but I could add like little spun intertwined parts. There is a lot more I could put in there. Like right now, these are just horizontal like that, so I should invest in curve info. I forget if we can access the UV map. Tangent norm, not sure. I don't think we have access to the curve tube data. I think we're locked out of it, which would suck. Got the tangent normal, which we can see that changes, so no, I don't. Texture coordinate. Let's see if we have that. Let's also save because I haven't done that in a while. But what a lovely cascade right there. UV map, nothing there, nothing there. Generated, no. Window, normal, yes. Generated. Yeah, I don't think. Geometry. Position. Normal. Tangent, and I'm still using the, no, all that should be fine. No, incoming parametric. Yeah. About what I expected. What is going on there? Oh, wait, no, that might just be because of the alpha? Yeah, no, this doesn't look like a cross gradient to me. So I think we just don't have access to that data. Cylinder type. Unfortunate. I don't think. Am I missing something? If it was going to be something, it would be parametric, right? Because cylinder, that, no, those are both basically the same. Tangent. Normal. That's okay. That is alright. Only mildly annoyed by that. But I think, unless you're zooming in this close, you will not see it. I could instance more things to make it higher quality, but it's not like I'm working on a movie. I am off work today. Doesn't need to be movie quality. So it looks like a constant stream, even though it isn't. We got what we wanted. Eventually. So now we need to add in more colliders. So I have a human here. So, oh wait, but now I need to make it so that the webs, when they're frozen, stay connected to the collider as it moves. That could be a cool thing. We're at 1 hour and 15 minutes. We can go for 2 hours today. I'm waiting on some stuff. So, collider. If we include that, we can see that this poor soul we'll have some webs attached. Actually, since they are so sparse, should I make the webs even thinner? I think I should. Well, let's go and do a nice molt. Should have done this originally. Set that to be 1 and maybe 0.1, and this one will be 0.001. There we go. So that does that. It makes it super duper thin, which I think is good. And then I can just turn the opacity up. Shaders in Blender are a real pain. It depends. It really, really depends. Turn up the specularity a ton. Even more. That, it's like, yeah, it's thin, but you can still... That might be too thin. I could still make it metallic, but I don't think that's a good idea. And that... can't say I'm a fan of that. So, let's change this to... closer to what it was. Let's set it to 0.25. Maybe I need to change the roughness. Make it look thicker. Brightness, no. That, it's... Didn't get to point one. It's all looked at this point, which takes up the most amount of time every single time. We're not getting the highlights there anymore. Should they even be highlights? I mean, I think the thickness for this is good. That's acceptable web thickness. And there we go. Also, for the people who are here, I'm just wondering. I'm lightly considering restart or maybe doing another... I don't know. It's been a while since I did a Discord version of this where I work and do all that. That's how I originally started, like, a couple years ago. I'm feeling potentially a little nostalgic, so I'm, might be a good idea, I'm not sure. But the YouTube streams are more accessible. So I am very undecided. And I think... 0.05. Really want the web. No, now they're too dim, which I can solve with making them thicker. It's almost there. And then we can see on the last, oh, that part's good. When you see when it ends, it just bonk. And the thing is, I don't even need to make them static when at the end there. Here we go, okay. I am happy with that. And do I need to modify it? So, if this has moving colliders, yeah. Moving collider, so maybe I should go and sample the velocity. So that it can all move around, but I don't know. And for the cherry on top, just to make it hilarious, let's go and parent the human to the empty and just do that. Not even posing the arms, just doing that so we can see. Yep. There's Spider-Man. Donking his head on the bottom of the world. And let's go at... I forget. I need to make this local. Yeah, there we go. X out of there, new, and let's just make him red, like Spiderman. Like Polyester Man. Okay, when I was in the theater, as soon as the credits were through, I didn't stay for the end credit scene because I heard it was to do with Avengers Doomsday, and I do not care about that movie. There was a kid who played the Polyester Man edit, and I was disappointed, but also happy, because I was like, you know what, that's the perfect thing to end the movie on. Polyester Man. It was so good. It was so cringe, but so beautiful at the same time. So cringe, but so beautiful at the same time. Alright, let me go and yoink some textures. I think a nice brick texture would look good. PBR. Oh wait, let me go and full screen this again. Floors, cracked asphalt. No, use that one's too classic. Road lanes, no. City Grand, no. Stones. Brushed concrete. Oh, maybe that'll look good. And the displacement map. So let's attach you to here. Oh god. I will hue HSV it. Triplana. Triplana UVs. Plug that into there. Plug that into there. Put that into a nice bump map. Heights. Put that into there. Do an HSV node. You just make it so that looks bad. Atrocious. Absolutely terrible. Hate it with my entire being. There we go. Let's set that to be 0.1. Better, not great. Maybe I just need the bump map. You know, just a little thing right there. Let's set it to be 0.01. And set that to be 1. Wow. Oh, dolly. Set it to be non-colored data. Oh, I love that new menu. I was probably in the older version, but it's fine. Dun, 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 dun. That's good. Not great. That's good. Oh, that looks a lot better. Yep. Maybe turn up the hue by a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, no, that looks good. That is acceptable. Alright, let's go and get the camera ready for placement, and I'll call this project, this 1.5 hour project, pretty much done. So we can, no. Go, let's go and move it up so we can see. Now I just need to put more humans in the mix. And that will be perfect. Just a few more. Just like, oh yay, oh no. I think the humans might detract from the effect. Yeah. Come on. There we go. Okay, so for the backgrounds, shader world. Oh yeah, I think that's fine. I will try out some different things. I need to get the entire tube in here. And then maybe I could also do that to get like a POV shot. Oh, that could look cool. 'Cause yeah, Oh, that's not bad either. I think I like that a bit more. Maybe more like that. And maybe I could go and duplicate this, make it a bit smaller, turn up the blend a lot, and then turn up the light a lot. I really want that. Yeah, there we go. yo, Spider-Man. Yay. But yeah, the Spider-Man movie, it felt very New York. Very New York to me. Like, there were so many times during the movie where I was like, oh yeah, no, I've been there. Yep. It just felt like New York. It was very nice. And the end credits just being shots of New York. Very, very nice. Very nice. It's still so funny. I don't think... Should I make... Okay, let me... Spider-Man do a flip? Okay. There, well, you got two of them there. Let's see... Let's go with a damped track, because that's better than the original track, because it doesn't make me go absolutely insane. Let's go and set it to be -Z. Let's do that, that's good, and then there. Okay. So, do I move? I think the static camera is probably better. Then we need to make it a bit less effective. That can be more like that, yeah. And then, yeah, probably just making the animation a bit better. But I'd say that's acceptable. It's still not great, but it's not terrible. For version 1, that is good. I should move the arms up though, because it adds to the humor. It adds to the humor. That's good. Let's go to the empty. Zero out both of those. Move it up over to the side. Now it should be on that side. Yeah, there we go. So just like that. And then... Then maybe like this. That looks absolutely awful. That looks so bad. Oh, I haven't even thought about motion blur. Since it has a consistent ID, motion blur may work. Yeah. And maybe I should lock off. Oh yeah, maybe I should just, tuck that parent. And then do a child of constraints. Copy location constraint. Let's make this the empty. There, and then offset original. Yeah, that'll be good. That looks so bad, but it's so funny. Whee! There we go. It's not bad. It's a nice... I'd say it's a decent version of the effect, even though it needs more randomization. I need to just make it so that there are more versions of the web that gets ejected and all that. But you know what? For an hour and a half, that is not bad at all. The way it just donks at the bottom, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's just perfect. Yeah. I am happy with this effect. Alright, new particles, we have the collision. And this needs to be the web tension. How do you spell tension again? I think it's like that. Web. Go, so there's that. There's the delta time, which I don't have time to I don't have time to develop for Blender nowadays. Time nor motivation, unfortunately, due to other things that are taking up time. If I had time, I would look into making the portal reroutes, because I need that. I need that. I also need to look into that name dependency, but unfortunately, again, time. There's not enough I have too much and too little time at the same time. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Yeah, it probably makes sense. Okay, so let's do, this is visual. And let's go over to our web segment. Let's go and do more. So this will be, mention. This will be data. Pin data. Yeah. Pin data. This one will be raise. And then this part will be subdivide. Subdivide. Selective. Subdivide. Random. And this one will be grid. Very creative naming on my part, but it's okay. Just the rest positions. So yeah, that is decent. Why is it lagging? Oh yeah, no, it is firing so many webs, so yeah, no, it'll lag. Yeah, no, that's good. The background there, can't say I'm all too happy with that. Maybe it just needs a nice noise texture to boost it. Make it look a little bit better. So 2D, we're just going to go and straight up mix between the two. Float, mix. Do that, set this to be 12, so that to be there. And shadows are still disabled. Well, no, shadows weren't the problem, so I can turn those back on. That wasn't what was causing it to lag. Ooh, but we get some nice shadows. Ooh, yeah, no, turns out adding shadows makes it look better. Okay, so what we need is you, a mix between you and you. I think something like that could be good. Maybe just reduce it a bit. Yeah, that seems to be decent. Just making it a bit rougher. A bit too much. It's decent. Oh, the roughness. That is what is tripping me up. The even roughness, of course. Another noise texture, just to make it look a bit more splotchy. One, let's go and hone it in, more like this, more like that, do that. I think 0.6 would be good for the range there. Yeah. Something like that. Take a look at this. It looks bad. Turn up by a little bit. Color management. Do we need to aces this? Potentially. Aces usually looks better in some scenarios. And then top lights. Boost that. Oh, it's facing us. That's why it doesn't look great. Never have... Well, no, backlights exist. But in this case, lights are not preferable. Maybe I should have them like side lights on all the sides and everything. This is 2.0. Yeah, they're about the same, so I'll stick with 1.3. It's okay. It's okay. Maybe it's just this texture that isn't. I'll go and play with that another time. You know, I'm not vibing with that concrete texture. Cobblestone arches, no, I don't need that. walls. Cliffside, damage plaster, facades. Damage plaster, that could be a good one. Oh, wait, yeah, no. That'll work out very nicely. And then for that one, need to go over to damage plaster and then do that. Hey, that might work well. Maybe. Possibly. Still unsure. Oh, wait, actually. Yeah, no, I like that. I like that. And with the, yep, nope, that works. And I think I should cube projection this and then just use the UV map. The less you rely, yeah, industry well, kind of industry standard, just use the regular old UV maps to do UV map stuff. So UV editing, let's go and scale it up by 20 to do as little as possible. Yeah, no, that's all right. Just the lighting's still a bit messed up. Looking good. What could be better? Jesus. Nope. No. Let's see. Metro, no, no, I think that one has the vibe. Maybe I just need to change. Or what if it was completely dark? No, that's terrible. I hate it. Yeah, just the lighting. I'm usually known for good lighting, so I need to keep it. I need to make it, nah. I'll do that when I need to waste more time. That's maybe 0.5, then mix in more noise into it. Noise? I think it is acceptable. As long, like, they have consistent IDs, so there shouldn't be any weird motion blur stuff that causes it to self-destruct. Let's go and set this to be video encoding. Go. That is as expected. So yep, I think that's good. Maybe I just, let me try out some more lighting here. So maybe I just need to do something along these lines where it is like, oh, compositing. Of course. I completely forgot. I need the bloom. Always. Wow. That adds basically, it added basically nothing. But we can go and, I don't know. That's too much. That's like that. That could work. And then let's not forget you. And let's not forget you. Oh no. Shift L, object data, there we go. I would, okay, I'm not gonna question that. Where is that? Hello to everyone in the chat. We're wrapping up today's stream. Just adding in a bit of lighting that I am still very unsure about. Oh, actually, that not the worst. Oh, that's supposed to be like a skylight. Yeah, I forgot. Just like that, and then it's just... Oh, but you can't see anything like that. That's not bad. Changing the colors here might also contribute. Here I go again with, oh, I need to do everything in camera instead of doing a molecule of color correction. Because as we know, color correction is fake. Not a real... It's not real. No, but we can't... It's not highlighting the webs when it happens, so... It to be 0. That makes it so that we can... The purpose is to see the webs. Maybe I can fire it up from the bottom. So let's copy U, set U to be that. RX180. Turn it up by quite a bit. Ooh! Wait a minute. What if that actually worked? Then we just narrow in the... Wait a minute. 180. Oh! Not against that. Just the top roof. Can't say I'm the biggest fan of there. Okay, then curves, RGB curves. Turn the red down so that we get a nice teal. I don't know. I need to workshop this. Oh my gosh. Shader editor, the background. Now I'm no longer loving... Oh, wait, no, I like it better when it's homogeneous. And I could turn up the shadows if I'm wanting to black my computer. Samples. Oh, there's now a seconds limit for Eevee. When did that get put in there? Just dun 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 dun. No, I feel like that's better. Like 10. Let's go and bring you and make you a little bit wider in terms of all that. No, we also need to move you over to the side a little so that when he goes down, you don't completely occlude everything. Yeah, it's the top roof. I'm gonna void it. Voiding the roof. New material. It's emissive. The emission, if it's bright, like a skylight, that's not good. If it's the void, that's also bad. That's... I don't know why, I need to work on that separately off stream, because I think I'm trying to make it perfect, and as we know, perfection is always attainable. Perfection is always attainable, and I will attain it. I still love it just face planting on the floor. So good, so good. All right. Well, we're at 1 hour and 45 minutes. I think that's good. Still not happy with the walls. Them being solid feels better than them with texture. And being solid feels better. Maybe it's just like, just a little bit of texture. Yeah, that, you know, just a little bit of detail. I think that's good. Then I could just make things a little, is it the red? Just something, is it the lighting? Is it the red? Something is just off. Completely black it out. Just have a little bit of gray. Okay, maybe it was that was causing some of the weird stuff. Also, I need to make sure that, you know, it's not just my monitor making things look more gray. Maybe it is doing that. Object. That down. Turn it up. Let's see. We have that. Alright, no, we have a good result. It looks somewhat similar to, you know, what we have. Well, you only see it for a little bit. It looks somewhat similar to that. Though, the kind of secondary webs that seem to fire, like those fire, and then there's the secondary ones that fire from the beings. I think, actually, yeah, let's take a look at that guy. What happens? Well, it spawns in with that, and then with that guy. Like, oh no, it was kind of hit there. I'll need to, yeah, maybe there will be a version 2 of this. We can see here, there's not even, like, major highlights on the webs there. Looks rather static, the shape. Or no, are those might be the webs from the previous hit, those might not be the spinning. Nope, those are the spinning webs. Yeah, actually, look at the shape there. I mean, they're the organic webs, which probably explains why they look a lot more messy and wavy than the other ones. So yeah, maybe. Maybe, but there is so much varying thickness. Oh yeah, and there's some highlights in there. So yeah, varying thickness. That's a difference. That's the big difference. Yeah. Okay. Just need to change that up a bit, and I'm still not happy with that. That background is annoying me for some reason. It's the lighting. The lighting is just wrong. Is it because if I were to delete all that? Don't know. And actually, I've been missing the reference all this time as well. But yeah, there's the skylight, which I kind of remembered. And then there's that. So maybe I just need to make it like a pseudo prison with like bars on the sides, and then that goes back more. But I did, yeah, no, the shape's okay. It's also funny that they spoiled this, but it is a very hype moment, but it is the climax of the film, the climax of the climactic fight. Or, yeah, and it's just like, well, here it is in the trailer. Here it is in the trailer. Is it the red of this guy that's bothering me? Does it need to be like a little metallic? Just give it a little bit of a sheen. Oh yeah. That helps. Make it look just a little bit more like the Spiderman. Fun. Alright, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this little look into just making a little effect. I think it turned out well. I still have a few little issues with it that I can fix up. It's just the lighting. What is up with the lighting? Yeah, I remember you doing a shockwave effect. And I was wondering if you were willing to create the gene psychic field effect, psionic field effect. Let's see. Yeah, I forget if I ever made a shockwave effect. I probably did. And yes, I know I should put the hands there. Actually, wait. Is it firing in the wrong? No, it's firing in the right direction. I find it funnier if he's just A posing and then hits the ground like that. Because that's funny. That's funny. But to be honest, that effect, it's not difficult. It was interesting how it was affecting the water and stuff like that. That was an interesting thing. But it's just a little bit of compositing with RGB and all that. So to be honest, it's just, it wasn't that complex. So I think you just need to add in like a lens distortion node. And then just have noise with the scene. Yeah, I could here. Because I don't know when to stop streaming. If I'm remembering it correctly. I know that they did, not knocking the effect whatsoever, because, you know. I forget if it was a bit like side to side as well, if I'm correct. But yeah, it's just stuff like that, even though a bit more complex, but for most people who need to do it, it is not... It's not the most complex thing to do. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. So yeah, something like that, make that fit. But maybe it should be more... Yeah, you should probably like use UV displacement to for the RG and Bs, and maybe even more in between to make that work. But yeah, little thing, not the most complex effect. Even when it's on the sphere, it's still doing very similar stuff. I would imagine they didn't even have like a dispersion shader. I imagine it was just a sphere with noise, and then they used that to guide the compositing. That's what I'd imagine. Around here. Let's turn it down. I really fiddle with just the little things here when I really don't need to. Alright, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.